Rambles afford no joy. I go from town to town. I wander around. This I will tell you now. This I will allow. She combs a distant shore. She don't hear no more. I love you. I love you. I feel so down.
Okay, so I finally made it to a place that I've been wanting to come to for a long time. I've driven by it a few times. I'm in Cypress, California with my friend Raul.
So what's up, man? Guys.
So this is a location that, like I said, I've always wanted to go to. This is Forest Lawn Cemetery in Cypress, California. And we are here because of Glenn Quinn. Now, if you don't know Glenn Quinn, he's an actor from Roseanne and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. For me, growing up as being a child of the 80s and 90s, Mark on Roseanne, come on. That was everything. It was such a cool role. At first, I wasn't too thrilled with him as on the show. I didn't know if he really fit because he kind of had this sort of really dark broodiness to the character, and it kind of didn't fit with the humor at first. And then it really does. He grows into the character, and he's so talented. It's super funny. And we're going to take a look and find his grave and show you Glenn Quinn's final resting place. I was really into Roseanne. And then when he came on, I was like, who is this guy? What's going on with this character? And then you really, really just get into the character of Mark. And he's so funny. And I watch The Conners now. I do watch it. It's kind of, I consider it like Roseanne light. I love the show Roseanne, and I love the reboot of Roseanne. And now The Conners without Roseanne. It's not really Roseanne, but it's kind of still Roseanne. It's like pizza. Pizza's always good, you know? Even if it's not the greatest pizza, it's still pizza. So I like The Conners. But obviously Roseanne reboot was missing Glenn Quinn. He added so much to the show. And they honor him by having a character named Mark, which is nice. And yeah, so here we are, and we're going to take a look and try to find his grave, because there's a lot of them out here, and it's going to be maybe a little difficult to find, but see if we can. So I think, I know that it used to be a small plaque like one of these, and I know that they replaced it with a much larger one, and as you can see right here, there's a much larger one. I noticed that. So from here I can tell that that's it, and it's decorated for Christmas. And here it is. Glenn Quinn, May 28, 1970 to December 3rd, 2002. Jesus, I trust in you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. So Raul was just talking to me about placing a rock on graves, because I do that a lot. And I think I explained it on another video. I'm not sure if I did. But it is a Jewish tradition of placing a rock to protect, make a community around the grave. I explained it better earlier. Piles of rocks to protect the person buried below. Sort of because it all starts with one rock. And yeah, so it's just something I've kind of continued to do. So we just placed the rock here at Glenn Quinn's grave. And I was just saying to Raul that I know locations in Hollywood. Like Glenn Quinn had a troubled life with addiction, and I'm not sure if it was the last year of his life or last couple of years. He had a pretty troubled life, and he owned a bar up in, I think it was called Goldfingers up in Hollywood. And then either his partners bought him out or something, but he was not doing well when he was hanging out at that bar. Then he overdosed at a friend's house in the valley. Now I know where both of those locations are, so I was thinking I could add them to the video or not. I think it may be a little too morbid, so I'm still debating on that. So this just could be the video, just it here. I think I like it just visiting the grave and honoring him and remembering him that way, and not necessarily showing where everything went south for him. Truly talented actor though. If you don't, you just Google Glenn Quinn Roseanne or YouTube. You'll see some funny clips. And the girls certainly loved him. He was a good-looking guy. Girls and guys love him. He's a very good-looking man. And
Get to see him first.
yeah. You'd probably recognize him if you watch Buffy. But for me, it's Roseanne. Like, I mean, he became a permanent cast member. So he was Becky's boyfriend. And then, did they get married on the show, Becky and Mark? Yeah, I think they did. They ran away and got married. Yeah, they did. Then lived in a trailer park. So he was a big part of Roseanne, the show. Yeah, here's one final look.
Damn, that's crazy, man. Do you ever imagine these people will have a star next to it?
Yeah. And it's bizarre. He's actually Irish. He was born in Ireland. His family all lives in Ireland, yet he's buried here. Johnny Galecki, who plays Leonard on Big Bang Theory, and Sarah Gilbert, who is part of the Connors reboot now, they were both obviously on Roseanne when Glenn Quinn was on.
Yeah, I
Johnny
remember that.
Galecki played David, and Sarah Gilbert played Darlene. David and Mark, played by Glenn Quinn, were brothers. And from what I've been told and from what I've read, Johnny Galecki and Sarah Gilbert were the only two Roseanne cast members who came to his funeral. No one else did from the entire show. It was at a tiny little funeral home somewhere in Los Angeles. I'm trying to remember where. I have it written down somewhere. But yeah, only two cast members came. Now, that's not to say they didn't care. You know, they could have been across country. You never know. It could be too hard. I mean, I'm sure we've all had somebody pass away in our life. We didn't go to the funeral for various reasons. Sometimes you're too upset to go.
Yeah, like ECE.
Yeah.
On the ECE grave. I don't think
any NWA members went, right? Yeah.
only the DJ.
Yeah, what's his name? MC Ren?
Yes.
No.
No. Yeah, I think.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right, though.
Only the DJ.
Yeah, well, you're right. Sometimes you just... I've read that Johnny Galecki and Sarah Gilbert were the only two that went. But sometimes you don't know what's going on in somebody's personal life, why they couldn't go or why they didn't go, why they chose not to go. Especially when it's somebody who was young, 32 years old. It's hard. You don't want to see them that way. Sometimes you just want to remember them alive. And so you can't go to the funeral, you don't want to. And that's everybody's personal choice to make. All right, so If you heard in the background, that was some Mexican music. I don't know if we caught on camera or not. That's what kind of Mexican music is that?
It's called corridos. It's typical for Mexicans to, once they die, either have a band or...
Really? So Mexican funerals usually have live music?
Yeah, well,
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
You need this.
Okay.
But it's typical.
That's really nice though. That's really cool. What is
That's
it?
in Mexico. Here, you don't see that
Too often?
Yeah.
Fair amount of people over there for that funeral though, with the music playing. That was really nice. It was really cool to hear and see that. But we were here for Glenn Quinn, so there's one last shot over our shoulder. If you're a fan of Glenn Quinn, you get it. I think you get it, because there's something about him that was just so awesome. And it was a shock when he passed away. It was a real shock. You didn't hear from him maybe for a year or two, and all of a sudden you get you hear about this actor that you kind of grew up knowing so well, and it's like dead at a young age. And such a sad way to go. Addiction is such a heavy load. People say addiction isn't real or addiction isn't disease. You don't know what you're talking about.
It's real.
It's real, and it's heavy stuff. Be careful out there. Glenn Quinn, rest in peace. To all of you, Raul, thank you very much for joining me again.
Thank you, and thank y'all.
Peace out. See you soon.